Hello you all and welcome to a small army book review. So before I start talk about it, it's the Saurian Ancient army I wanna discuss a bit. I have play tested every single unit in the army. Of course not all combination of items and upgrades and so on. But I got a kind of a feel for all the units. I'll a little bit talk about what I like about them, how they worked out for me, and so on. Also the arm special rule and the magic items I want to discuss shortly. I actually realized this morning when I should start this video, I have not playtested the Shrine Guard, unfortunately. Basically because I don't really have so many of that models anyway, and I only want to play painted models. No, not so much proxying, so that's why I have not playtested them, unfortunately. But anyway, let's start the review. So the army special rule, cold-blooded. Yeah, it's the basically old classic. I can roll the Egypt test with 3 dice, remove the highest. So it's knight. Not much to talk about. Born Predator is the next one. Rerolls hits of 1 in closing combat, which is really good because mostly our characters are hitting on 3s or 4s, and rerolling those 1 is really awesome because high strength and so on. So that's cool. Harlequin is basically the old Slan in the middle rule, as it were, in 8th edition. And so on. Magic Beacon also basically the same. You can cast through the Troglodon and the Skin Priest if you are a Slan. So that's also a very cool rule, but nothing new here. Born Predator is a big improvement, I think, but otherwise nothing special. The old weapon, here we go. We have a Blowpipe, which is basically the same. 1+ to hit against large targets is a new one. It's cool. Really makes those poison very well fought through against a big monster. So that's really, really nice. Javelins, yeah, it's the same. Blowpipe, nothing special there. Shoot some shots. And giant bow, it's the same as well. Quick to fire is a new improvement, so that's cool. So that's the weapon and special rule. Let's go through disciplines, and this is for the Slan then. Funeral Winds. Yeah, this is basically you guarantee yourself to get some extra power dice or dispel dice. The old classic build, not as good as it was before, but before it was basically broken. Next one, Cognitive Resilience. Kind of cool item. Reroll failed spell attempts. That to make you be able to just throw in 1 or 2 dice for some simple spells, which is really cool ability. Also kind of expensive. I'm not the kind of player who throw in a lot of expensive items on their character. So for me, that's not really an option. Okay, Master of Winds. Yeah, it also gives you, this one is really awesome, I think, to get a lot of dice when casting. Also kind of expensive, but it's kind of cool ability. If you're a very magic heavy list, I would recommend you to take Master of Winds. And then we got Protected Soul. Reroll Miscast table. Subtract or add. So you basically can get that 7, which is pretty much unharmful, instead of those much more harmful effects. You can basically avoid those mostly the two really brutal miscast, power drain and big explosion. If you wanna go for the bomb 5-die spell, but otherwise I think this is not really worth it. I almost never go for the big spell. Telepathic control. This is kind of good if your army is very out. If you hide your land in the back and use beacons like Skink Priest and Spinosaurus to cast your spell through, can spread those leadership, because skinks and so on have leadership 5 or 6 or whatever. It's not really good, and with combination of cold-blooded, leadership 9 is really cool. We then have the next one, higher state of mind, and yeah, not as good as it was before, because Israel's special rule is not as good as before. I think you are only getting 2 up ward against non-magical attack, but there's a lot of magical attacks, and but this can potentially protect you from your cannon if you want to run your slam around alone on the battlefield. So that would be what I would recommend this for. Veteran of Dark Wars. Okay, 2 extra spells. That's kind of cool. In my head, I cannot remember what these spells did, but I will check them out right away. Okay, the Fury spell is kind of cool if you want to buff your guys up a bit, +1 strength and potentially armor piercing. Not too hard to cast. It's a really good spell if you have like Saurus or Shrine Guards, Saurian or Shrine Guards or something like that, or a big monster or something. Could make a unit hit much harder if you're making high armor save, which is basically the thing our army suffer most from. Let's see, and the other one is there we go, there's the white one. Lumina Bolt. Yeah, it's a kind of cool missile spell. So I would say if you would run some very defensive spell lore with your level 4, like for example Nature, that don't really have any good missiles, or Beast that don't really have any good missile. This could be Wilderness, I would say. This could be some very cool things to take, but otherwise, if your spell already have this kind of spells, if you're lore, you don't really need that. Okay, Master of Path is the classic one, signature spell taking, which is good. It gives you a lot of it's expensive, but it gives you a lot of options, because most of the signature spell are very good, and you've got all the tools in your kind of cast from a caster. And then finally, you must know of which army rooster. Alternative way of thinking. I think this is kind of to be honest. If you really are locked to a lore, and then you need to choose before, you can just use what you think your lore is lacking, but if you met face Kingdom Echo Twain with a lot of armor, you wanna got that metal signature spell, for example, you cannot really choose that before, and you may face an army without such much armor. So that's, I think this is an overpriced and unuseful item from my point of view, at least. So that's the magical path. Let's go over to the magical items. Let's see. Eternal Blade. Armor piercing 1 and multiple wounds 2. In combination on a whole blood, this could be very cool, I think. Especially if you're going for to kill character. You have strength 5 with armor piercing 1. Most character got like 2-3 up save, so, and multiple wounds 2. So you basically can kill a character. This could be a cool item to put on your all blood. Not all blood anymore. Let me see so I get the right name here. Saurian Ancient. Here we go. Then we have the Triceratops War Spear. Impact hits. I play tested this one. I think it works fine if you have either your Lord running around on a cold one or a Carnosaur. Of course, because it's a lance. It can give you some extra damage, potentially takes away stats. Hurtful steadfast of your opponent, so that's very cool. Tyrannosaur hunting bow, never tried it. To be honest, I don't think. Maybe if you have some skink captain running around on your flank shooting into the flank of Cav, this could be cool. Or if you're riding a Petrodactyl or something on the flank, yeah, it could work out very brutal to snipe out those knights. So that's cool. Triceratops helm. I think I've used this in all of my games. 1+ toughness, impact hits, very cool. Especially since our base toughness is 5, toughness 6 is brutal for most units. It really makes our units more better. So that's a good item for its point. Flaming Aura of the Ancient. -1 to hit and 2 up ward against fire is a really cool item, and I think you actually can stack this with hand open shield, which gives you, I tried this combination, which give you 2 minus to hit on your character. Your character is base weapon skill 6 or 5, so most things will actually hit it on a 6 up or a 5 up, depending on if there's some big special lord or something. But otherwise, this will make your character really hard to hit. Next thing, we got a bounce spell from the White Magic. I will have to check this one out. There we go. Recover 1 wound and recover 1 wound. I would say no to these items. Maybe if you don't have a Lord of Nature's Land and a lot of monsters, you might want these spells, but otherwise, just 1 wound. That's not too much, I don't think. So I would skip that one. The egg. Strength D3 plus 2, magical attacks. I think that's a cool item. Can potentially give your unit a big buff with some extra kills, which might turn your unit into winning a combat that is very tight. So it could be a very cool item to put on your captain of skinks or something, or your veteran, or yeah, very good item. Then we go the black cube. Remove 1 power dice from your opponent. and he's work all the time. That's a very cool item. I think it's a good item too. So it could potentially be good, but the difference in power dice is, yeah, potentially stopping if if they roll very low on their power dice. Wins and magic. This could be a very brutal item. So very cool item. I have not tried it out myself, but I will definitely give it a try soon. Onsen Peliquin. Once per magic phase. Okay, this is a very good item. If you wanna force through it with a miscast, this could be very hard hitting item. But it's a very expensive item as well, so might be worth it, might not. I think it's really depending on the taste. If you have a very magic heavy list, I think this is the way to go, but otherwise not really. Then we go our big magic banner, and it's give difference to all against different opponents, which is kind of lore-wise very cool, but it's give us a lot of things to read. So against the dwarf, relentless and thunderous charge. We will have to check these rules out. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is not a very prepared video. I just wanna walk it all through when I have it all sometimes over to just. I hope you are painting or something during this whole videos, so don't just sitting here and watching my screen going around and basically doing looking up almost everything. So first off, it was let's see. Thunderous Strike, was it? Thunderous Charge, I was. First round of combat, 1+ strength. That's a very cool thing to get. Especially since all of the dwarves are T4. Yeah, it's a very good item. But it's also very expensive, and you must put it on your BSB. Probably your slam, because you don't want to have a lone veteran or a captain in a unit. Against humans, 6 up ward, 5 up wards against artillery weapons. I would say this item is much better against the Sonnenstahl dudes, because they have a lot of artillery. 6 up ward in combat is night. That means that you will save something, but yeah, it really depends on what kind of human armies you are facing. If this is good, worth banner taking 6 up ward for 55 points, not really. 5 wars against artillery might be if you are facing a lot of volley guns and cannons and all of this brutal sun and stars stuff. Against the elf, lightning reflexes. Let's see. Okay, +1 to hit. Which could be very cool, because the elves got really low toughness in most cases, so help us hit those high weapon skill dudes or dudettes will really help us a lot. I really started liking this banner. I might take a what's it called now? I must look up the name again. the High Priest. No?